Transportation is so superb.
The level of accommodation is better.
Very close to the Prophet Mosque.
I felt I should still be here to still worship more.
The changes have been so magnificent, so incredible.
Medina was a wonderful experience.
They exceeded our expectation.
For me, the Hajj service scheme is something which we must start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I am Binta Magaji. The fight to stop the spread of coronavirus is a collective responsibility. Let's be conscious of all precautionary measures to stay safe. Now to the program. As it is in all public and private establishments, activities at the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON is at a standstill as a result of the lockdown in quite a number of states and the FCT. This has no doubt affected operations at the Commission and by extension, the media coverage of its activities. This notwithstanding, for the period of the lockdown, we shall be doing some stock taking on the activities of NAHCON. Tonight, we'll focus on how the fourth board of the Hajj Commission under the leadership of Zikrullah Kulli Hassan has fared so far since it came on stream. Also in the program, we have other regular segments including the NAHCON News Diary, which features the activities of NAHCON Chairman, key functionaries of the Commission and other stakeholders. These and more shortly. Stay with us. Thanks for being there. We begin the program with a news diary as presented from our studio. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, Alhaji Zikrullah Kulli Hassan, says he is hopeful that the 2020 Hajj will take place. He stated this during an interview with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria (FRCN) in Abuja. Alhaji Zikrullah disclosed that information filtering from Saudi Ministry of Health shows a rapid decline of the COVID-19 infection in the country and possible eradication of the disease by May 2020. He said this gives NAHCON the hope that the Hajj will take place this year. The NAHCON boss therefore encouraged intending pilgrims to go ahead with the plans of making Hajj fare deposits, saying the Commission has not stopped preparations towards 2020 Hajj operations. He added that there is the possibility of reducing the number of pilgrims as a strategy to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. Should this happen, he said, slots will be allocated to pilgrims on first-come, first-served basis. The NAHCON chairman said the Commission has put in place plans on how to handle the situation in the event the 2020 Hajj does not hold. In the meantime, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON has directed all state pilgrims welfare boards and licensed tour operators to have contingency plans in place in case the 2020 Hajj is disrupted due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission, in a memo signed by its acting secretary Ahmed Megari, says state pilgrims boards and tour operators are allowed to continue the registration of intending pilgrims for 2020 Hajj in order to avoid last-minute rush. The memo also warned the boards and tour operators against entering new agreements with either Saudi or local companies in respect of the 2020 Hajj until the situation is clear. NAHCON then called on the state pilgrims welfare boards and tour operators to observe all guidelines issued by the federal and state governments in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, particularly the aspect concerning large gathering of people. In another news, the General Presidency of the Affairs of the Grand Mosque and the Prophet's Mosque has installed thermal cameras at the entrance of the Prophet's Mosque in Medina. The move is to prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. The thermal cameras are to monitor the body temperature of all those who enter the mosque. The device can scan 25 people at a time with high accuracy within a distance of 9 meters. They also give real-time reports of each person. The cameras have the capacity to save and store images and temperatures for a month, allowing them to be retrieved when the need arises. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON has offered its condolences to President Muhammadu Buhari and the people of Nigeria over the death of the President's Chief of Staff, Malam Abba Kyari, who died on Friday the 17th of April 2020 as a result of implications from COVID-19 infection. In a press statement, the chairman of the commission, Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan, expressed the sympathy of management and staff of NAHCON. He described the late Abba Kyari's contributions to national development as immeasurable. The NAHCON boss says this period calls for sober reflections on the reality of COVID-19 and called on the general public to unite with government at all levels in breaking the transmission chain of this global pandemic. Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON. When the new leadership at NAHCON took over the mantle of leadership on Thursday, the 13th of February 2020, it was very clear about the key policies it intends to pursue in order to enhance service delivery to Nigerian pilgrims. Our Spotlight segment will examine how the new leadership has fared in achieving these goals since its inauguration. Stay tuned for the details.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
At the inaugural ceremony of the fourth board of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, the new chairman, Alhaji Zikrullah Kule Hassan, used the opportunity to reel out the policy focus of the new administration. Key among these policies are reducing the cost of Hajj and the number of days spent by Nigerian pilgrims in the course of the Hajj exercise, establishing a Hajj savings scheme, and kick-starting the Hajj Training Institute.
We must harness new ideas to make and reduce the cost of Hajj so that many Ummah can be empowered and enabled to heed and hearken to the divine call and obligation. It's indeed imperative and important for us to tread this path. It's a hard choice we have to make. I know and understand that the path toward achieving this lofty dream will be long and indeed difficult, but we cannot resist this transition.
To achieve these goals, NAHCON management laid out an elaborate plan which include meeting the critical stakeholders, one of which was the meeting between the NAHCON chairman and the management of the International Institute of Islamic Bank and Finance, Bayero University, Kano. At the meeting, head of the institute, Professor Binta Tijani, discussed plans to kickstart the Hajj Training Institute. The institute, when fully operational, will train Hajj officials and other stakeholders.
When we're talking of Hajj as a profession, it's because we recognize the fact that Hajj is worship, Hajj is tourism, Hajj includes flights, Hajj includes hotel, Hajj includes several other things that requires person to have some deep knowledge of it. So because of the very components that are very key to make a successful Hajj operation, we recognize the fact it's very important to make Hajj a profession.
In order to actualize its policy objectives, NAHCON leadership launched a robust advocacy which saw it visiting, among other places, the Presidency, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice, Nigerian Immigration Service, and the National Assembly. At the meeting with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of State, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, appreciated NAHCON's leadership for coming up with policies that will help in protecting the interest of Nigerian pilgrims.
Especially, you will find the greatest number of pilgrims, maybe first-timers, who have never had an experience, who may never have seen an aircraft in their lives, who may never have seen a dollar in their lives, and who are being exposed, as it were, in this exercise for the very first time. So they are really very green, very innocent. And that in itself does not make it easy for you as people who have been charged with the responsibility of giving them leadership and making the Hajj as easy as possible for them.
NAHCON chairman thanked the ministry for its support, saying the commission is focused on implementing policies that will make Hajj affordable for Nigerians. In-house, NAHCON management was also receiving visitors and did not let go the opportunity to acquaint them with its plans. Some of the guests who came visiting include the leadership of the Association of Hajj and Umrah Operators in Nigeria, NAHCON, the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, Nasrullah Fatih Society of Nigeria, NASFAD, members of the Committee of FCT Ulama, management of Taj Bank, Nigeria and Diaspora Commission, and many more. In the course of the visits, discussions were mainly focused on how the Commission will succeed in its drive to improve on Hajj administration and service delivery to pilgrims.
We already are in discussion with some Islamic banks who want to partner us. We are waiting for the appropriate signal from the government authority so that we can institute the Hajj savings scheme with a way to eventually ameliorate the Hajj nightmare and possibly help the Muslim Ummah in terms of business opportunities.
We commend your effort in trying to reduce the Hajj fare in order to make it more affordable. But that should not compromise the quality of services rendered to the pilgrims. We feel by reducing the number of days pilgrims spent in Saudi Arabia, the fare could be reduced.
In all of these, the goal is to harmonize all viewpoints that will assist the Commission in the conduct of the 2020 Hajj. These include securing favorable deals with service providers. This was most manifest at the screening of airliners that applied to airlift pilgrims and their excess luggage. At the official flag-off of the screening in Abuja on Wednesday the 11th of March 2020, NAHCON chairman Alhaji Zikrullah Kulle Hassan called on the airlines to cooperate with NAHCON in its drive to make Hajj affordable for Nigerians and as well as reduce the number of days spent by pilgrims during Hajj.
I may need to inform those of us here that in our last visit to Saudi Arabia, we have succeeded in bringing down to a large extent the price of accommodation. We have also made some remarkable progress in also bringing down the cost of feeding without any attempt at disrupting the quality. It's my expectation, therefore, that our airlines, who are also our partners, will also take into consideration this matter in your deliberations.
All the companies that applied to airlift Nigerian pilgrims were screened by the screening committee headed by NAHCON Commissioner of Operations Abdullahi Magaji Hardawa. The companies are Arik Air Limited, Azman Air Services, Medview Airline, Max Air Limited, and Sky Power Express. Two Saudi-based airliners were also among them. They are Flynas and Sky Prime. For the freight of pilgrims' excess luggage, 4 companies were screened, namely Cargo Zeal Limited, Esteem Cargo and Tours Nigeria Limited, Shokodeke Global Marine, and Nigeria Aviation Handling Company. The committee also screened 2 airliners that applied to handle pilgrims opting to use tour operators for the Hajj. The airlines are Azman Airline and Westlink Airline Limited. The committee has since submitted its report to NAHCON for further actions.
With the assistance of the experts among us, we were able to come up with what we considered a fair payable by the 2020 pilgrims, which we did it in line with the declaration earlier made by the chairman and CEO of the commission to the effect that he would do whatever within his capacity to ensure that the cost of Hajj in Nigeria is brought down for the overall benefit of the pilgrims, who are generally the poor chunk of the society.
Because not only have we been successful in reducing the price of accommodation, now we have done so also for the airline, and we also did for feeding. And we have also guaranteed the fact that there won't be any reduction in quality. I want to thank you again for a job well done, and I want to assure the airlines that will be a partner with them. I also think we should salute the airline, particularly for demonstrating patriotic zeal and common position for all of us to make Hajj cheaper while not reducing the quality in any way.
Similarly, staff welfare and training are areas taken seriously by the Commission to ensure the success of NAHCON's policies.
To achieve our basic objective, we have to make sure that we have a competent workforce. Competent workforce in the sense that can achieve our objective very effective and efficiently. A workforce that can work with less or little supervision. A workforce that whatever action they took or they did, it will impact on the Hajj operation and in the end on the pilgrims.
Also, efforts are being made to intensify pilgrims' awareness campaigns, particularly on Hajj rights.
Because for you to have your action accepted in Islam, it must be done in two ways. One, you do it for Allah's sake and in line with the Prophet's Sunnah. Other than these two, then you have no reward for it. So all of this, the Commission intends to spread through flyers, through pamphlets, through physical visitation, adoption of indigenous languages across the country, and pictorial education. A host of all of these things, Allah willing, these are the plans we have. So that by the time we are lifting pilgrims, everybody will have better be informed of what they are going there for. And then we'll have less problem.
To further enhance its operations, NAHCON under the new leadership is sustaining the use of information and communications technology, ICT. Doing so will ease, among others, pilgrims' registration, handling of flight schedules, as well as processing complaints and the organization of its health management system. For this, NAHCON ICT unit has developed and put into use various mobile applications, while new ones are being developed. Among them are e-Directorate, Global Positioning System GPS, Hajj Guide, and Pilgrims Management System. So far, the leadership of NAHCON, led by Al-Hajj Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, has made giant strides in implementing its policies, which are geared towards making Hajj affordable for Nigerians, as well as improve on Hajj administration for better service delivery.
MashaAllah, you're still watching as you answer the call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj.
Performing the Hajj or Umrah have spiritual messages pilgrims are expected to imbibe because of the benefits to the pilgrims and humanity in general. What are these lessons? How will pilgrims benefit from them? On Making the Hajj tonight, Malam Adamu Abdullahi answers these and other questions.
The most important lesson which pilgrims should understand, that there is an emphasis on oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Hajj. Right from the beginning, the words of Talbiyah which the Hajj is the Hajj starts with labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak labbaik, innal hamda wan ni'mata lak wal mulk la sharika lak. saying that I have answered your call, O Allah, and there is no partner with you, and all thanks and gratitude go to you, and there is no partner with you.
The convergence of pilgrims in one place at a time symbolizes the Day of Judgment. This is also a lesson for pilgrims.
When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call all his servants and they'll stand in one place, just like the Muslims pray, they all stand in Arafah to praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everybody at the same time, the whole Muslims of the world. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to gather all human beings on the day of Qiyamah in one place for judgment. So Hajj should remind us of the day of judgment.
During Hajj, pilgrims share the same feelings, clothing, rites and times. This gives them the feeling of being brothers and sisters in the fields of life and religion.
Hajj also should remind us, to teach us about the brotherhood of Islam, because in Hajj you see people of different tribes. There's hardly no country of the world that is not represented in Hajj.
Hajj teaches pilgrims humility.
The pilgrim should learn the humility which is being taught in Hajj. In fact, during the period of Hajj, all the pilgrims are virtually in the same level in terms of dress they wear and the type of the acts of worship, which involves trekking long distances regardless of whatever your position is. Except of course if you are sick, but you have to trek whether you like or not. So the pilgrim should learn that all human beings are servants of Allah, and the best among them, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, the best among you is the most pious.
Furthermore, in the course of the Hajj, pilgrims learn the lesson of giving up all luxuries of life for the sake of Allah. The expectations of pilgrims after the Hajj is Allah's rewards and forgiveness. Hajj reminds pilgrims to stay clear of any act that is not allowed in Islam.
In a nutshell, what is required of a Muslim is, by the time he goes back home, he's supposed to be seen as a better Muslim. His acts of worship, his relationship with people, his generosity, his humility, his sacrifices for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are to be seen to have increased. That will show that he has really imbibed the lessons of Hajj.
Imam Adamu Abdullahi advises Muslims to always seek knowledge about Hajj and Umrah so as to perform it in line with the teachings of Islam.
Up next is the quiz. Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, mention the 3 persons whose history is associated with the Zamzam water. The correct answer is Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, his wife Hajara, and their son Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. The winner is Latifa Yahaya Idenye from Calabar Cross River State. She provided the answer ahead of others. Latifa Yahaya Idenye will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach her with the prize she won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. For this week, the question is, what is the name of the cloth used in draping the Kaaba annually? I repeat, what is the name of the cloth used in draping the Kaaba manually? Text your answer to the number shown on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Now let's take some messages from our viewers. Hajia Khadija sent in the first message via WhatsApp. It reads, "It is my prayer that the COVID-19 pandemic will soon be over. May God heal those who have contracted the disease. Amen." Tawfiq Soloku from Lagos State sent the second message. The message says, "I appreciate NAHCON efforts towards establishing the Hajj savings scheme. Please don't hesitate, we need it urgently." You too can send a message through our mobile number and other social media platforms. Remember, you can stop the spread of coronavirus by complying with all preventive measures. Let's support our governments in the fight against coronavirus. That's it on this edition of the program As You Answer the Call. Join me same time next week for another package. Good night and thanks for watching.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك